I'd like to greet everybody here today with a universal greetings, hand down from the first man that ever stepped on the face of this earth to this very day, who was called and sent by God, who is God-fearing, no matter what your race, your color, your creed, your nationality is. I'm appealing to all of you all. You see, all of us are servants of God that's doing God's will. He may give you a position of bishop, apostle, minister, superintendent, even those who don't have a position, you still have an assignment, a mission of God. I'm making an appeal for me and my 8 and 9-year-old daughter and my 87-year-old dad. We're battling against some forces here in Charleston, Missouri, black and white. I've been battling for 19 years before my children was born. I've been battling before I brought my dad back down here last year in 2014. He left in 1948. So none of us, his children, would be born here because him and my mother experienced what I'm experiencing now. They couldn't take it. But I'm appealing to y'all because my complaints has been in Washington, D.C. President Obama responded with a letter twice. His wife, Michelle Obama, responded once. United States Department of Justice responded once. And I complained to the FBI in St. Louis. All of my complaints is documented because I can't go to the people here in this town or go to Jefferson City because the director of the police department here, Bobby or Robert Hearns, his uncle was the governor here once upon a time. He passed away. May he rest in peace. I have nothing against him. I have nothing bad to say about him because I didn't know him. But some people in the town that did know him, they said that he did stand for what's right. His wife, Betty Hearns, is a former Missouri state representative. She's still here. I have nothing bad to say about her. I had nothing to complain about her. Several years ago, now that it comes to my recollection, I found her wallet. Now that I know who she is, I found her wallet by the post office with all of her IDs and credit cards and everything in it. This was around, I believe, 2001. With all her IDs in it, money in it, $20 bills. And I took it down to the police department and gave it to one of the black individuals down there. And I know she didn't turn it in. She know what I'm talking about because I believe if she did and told this lady that here's a man in this town found this here, I believe Miss Betty Hearns would at least told me, I appreciate you turning in my wallet. Why she probably didn't tell him, she probably took all the money out of it because she's a compulsive gambler. But I'm going to leave that there. But see, this police department here have came in my house several times. I got document proof with no warrants, no justification. 15 years ago, took me out of my house, handcuffed me, towed my car. This was Bobby Hearns. He was a lieutenant then. If we can get somebody to look at these police reports that he wrote in the officer Beth ACAP that came with him, both white, wrote, typed up separately, And then the alleged victim supposed to have handwritten one part of her complaint, and the other one was supposed to have been by Beth A. Cap. It was A for answer, Q for question. Each one of them supposed to handwritten it themselves, but if you look at it, you don't have to be a written analysis specialist to see it was all written by the same person. But all three of these reports are written up different. How can somebody, a victim, tell you several different things while telling you the same thing, but each one of your reports have a whole different thing? This was June of 2000. But then, here it is, September of 2000, some 3 months later, when depositions was taken, things is changing because the timeline didn't set up. It wasn't right. Ain't no way they could say I did what they claim I did because the timeline wasn't set up. The records is down in the police department. If they destroyed them, I have copies in Chicago in a vault, in Texas in a vault, Wisconsin and other places in the vault. Just in case that they try to get rid of them. I want you to be able to see how they falsified this here. Falsely convicted me. Look at the transcripts of the court transcripts. I didn't have a chance. It was a kangaroo court. 3 newspapers wrote about my story here. One of them I sent my transcripts in the police report, and she said the timeline, no way it can line up, add up. This Bobby Hearns. But see, it's another police in the police department who, when a bus driver did something to my child, and I took my child up to the school to complain about it, and they did nothing about it, her, which is white, and a black, the only black assistant principal at Hearns Elementary School, which is up under Charleston R1 School District in Charleston, Missouri. Each one of them took my daughter and questioned her, one of them by themselves, and then the police come back 3 days later and take her, forcing her, trying to make her change her story about what a white bus driver did to her. I got documents if you can look at them. Let's help me get people to come down to look at them. See, they came down once. The Obama administrator sent them down once, but these blacks down here told them that I'm a troublemaker. They never talked to my daughters when they got down there, but they talked to all the people that I was complaining about. How could there be a just investigation when your title in Kansas City, Washington sent my paperwork to Kansas City, which is the United States Department of Education Civil Rights Division, which an attorney was on there and other officials that's supposed to have been representing the United States Department of Education Civil Rights Division. It wasn't a fair investigation. But after I made that complaint, guess what? They sent the police department and the Children and Family Service to my house 2 days in a row. The first day, on January the 17th of 2013, they claimed somebody's called anonymously, said I was doing something to my children, dressing them up in tight clothes. Everybody in this town know me and my children. Who can call and tell you that what's going on in my house but me and my 2 children? And neither one of us can call. That failed. The next day they came 11 and a half months later saying that somebody called and said that the bus driver did something to my child and they want to investigate it. But when I called this same agency on February the 23rd of 2012, 22 days after this happened, they told me my complaint didn't warrant them to bring an investigator. Something wrong with that, ain't it? But one of the police that came in my house is the son of the police lady at the Charleston Police Department, who's a resource officer for the Charleston R1 School District, who questioned my daughter without my permission, her son come to my house. People in this town is afraid of him. Most blacks that ain't sellouts afraid of him because he shot a black individual in East Perry, Missouri, which is about 7 or 8 miles away from here. He got away with that because they settled out. He shot and killed a mentally ill guy here in Charleston, Missouri, November the 8th, 2011, who already been tased 2 times. Then he shot him twice, claiming he was fearful for his life. But yet, it was 2 veteran police on the scene. A sergeant that been on the force for over 20 years, and this same corrupted Bobby Hearns, the chief, was on the scene, who's been on the force for 20-something plus years. They didn't shoot him. But this man tell me I couldn't call nobody to tell them what they doing in my house, force they were in my house. They put in their paperwork that I'd invited them in. Anybody know that I'm not going to invite the police or no agency in the state of Missouri into my house because I know all of them tied together. But the other police officers that came to my house, checked the records. He told this police, you can't tell him not to call nobody. We just came here with the Children and Family Service people. We didn't come in here to tell Raymond what he can do and can't do because he's not under arrest. That officer quit. The same thing with an officer when my daughter's mother on May the 16th left out the house of 2008 to go get us some drugs, never came back until May the 19th, about a minute after 12, midnight, with the police. But this same police 6 hours before that, at 6 o'clock on the same month and date and year, this sergeant, I called him and told him we located her because I made a police report on the 17th of May of 2008 saying that she was a missing person and told them her history of drugs and abandoning her children in Chicago. I called the police. The police showed up. He told me that she grown, she can get high if she wanna, and take my children and go home. But 6 hours later, the same sergeant come with a different police, another white police officer, come in my house saying that they have an expose against me, against her. She in the streets. Well, if you got an expose, okay, let her stay where she at, and I'm staying with mine. But the judge told them to give her my kids. I refused. He pulled a gun on me at gunpoint, make me sit down at my kitchen table, waking my children up. They was afraid, crying, Poppy, don't let them take us. Help me, Poppy. And there was nothing I can do. The officer that came with this sergeant, he said, Raymond, I have nothing to do with this here. All I was doing is what I was told to do. I'm gonna shut it down because time is of an essence. Come and look at these other paperwork that I got. Listen to this song that I'm finna play. What Obama said a few months before he was elected. Listen to this song, y'all.
For when we have faced down impossible odds, and we've been told we're not ready, or that we shouldn't try, or that we can't, generations of Americans have responded with a simple creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Power to the people, black, Asian, Latino, white, Mexican, it doesn't matter, we all equal. Let's stand together, fight, unite for rights of all people. Let's tell the devil trying to trick us that his scheme see through. It's time to make a change before the world see last day, before you're turning old and gray, before your time to pass away. Only ignorance can stop us, what is on our mind. I guarantee you that Bin Laden, he is colorblind. Killers always on his mind, but still we're seeing colors and gender. When will the madness stop? To tell the truth, I thought that America changed a lot, but in recent time I'm seeing it all was just a plot. Now the blinds is on my eyes and I finally see it clear. Discrimination is real, but we can change it right here. Think about the politicians and how politicians lied over time. We the people, we got tired of hearing lies. Time to make a change.
Times get hard. I can hold